بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله الكريم سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. الجمع الكريم، أسأل الله أوقاتكم بكل خير. سعيد أيما سعادة أن ألتقي بكم في هذا النهار، منتصف النهار، في لقاء جديد، وبحول الله تعالى يكون متجددا، يتعلق ويعنى باللغة الإنجليزية، ولكن ليس قصرا على دارسي ومدرسي اللغة الإنجليزية، وإنما يتعداها إلى تخصصات أخرى. آه، هذا البرنامج بحول الله تعالى سيكون على حلقات، حلقة أولى، حلقة ثانية، وثالثة، إلى ما أشبه ذلك. في البدء نركز على human language and human and animal language, or uh, human language and animal communication. ف وهذا الأمل هذا العمل بحول الله تعالى يهدى ويقدم إلى روح الوالد رحمه الله تعالى، ومن بعده لأستاذنا الجليل، هذا الفيديو وهذا البرزنتيشن، دكتور تاج السير عشون. ومن بعده شغلي أنا إن شاء الله بحول الله، لعل وعسى نفيد ونستفيد. وأسعد جدا جدا بآرائكم وتعليقاتكم، ويسعدني المشاركة والإدلاء بدلوكم، يعني حتى يستفيد البعض الآخر من هم دارسي اللغة الإنجليزية. طيب، خلونا نبدأ الآن. Let me start sharing my screen with you. I think that this is my whole screen. So now I'm sharing my screen. Yes, let's go. Here we go. So I would like to start with this linguistic colloquium. I would love to start by the magnum opus. So it's a Latin word. I chose it because it stands for, or it stands for what the best that a writer has written, or an artist has drawn. Okay, so when it comes to magnum opus, this one of the best has been written, or the master piece of something. So let me start by animal and human language. Let's delve into our presentation. This, by the way, this is your Yule, okay, your Yule book, okay, chapter 2. It's 4th edition. Now I think there's 8th edition, but this since 2010. So now is almost 14 years. Okay, well, let's see, what do we have? Okay. Let me start by this. So at the very beginning, it's going to be in Arabic, and this is just as a woman or woman, and then we can transition in our subject. So we'll be delving or dealing with the language in more specific details. You can ask question, why I start by this, okay? Answer to that, okay, from his own معلقة, from his own poem, okay? Let me try if I can. يدعون عن تواضع نواهل يدعون عن تواضع كأنها أشطأن بئر في لبان الأدهم أشطأن بئر في لبان الأدهم ما زلت آميهم بثقات نحره ما زلت آميهم بثقات نحره ولبانه حتى تساقل بالدم فزوى من وقع القنا بلبانه فزوى من وقع القنا بلبانه وشكى إلي بعظات وتحمم وشكى إلي بعظات وتحمم لو كان يدري ما المحاورة اشتكى لو كان يدري ما المحاورة اشتكى ولا كان لو علم الكلام مكلمي ولو كان علم ولا كان لو علم الكلام مكلمي. So this is the point, okay? We need to think about the last line, okay? Or the last stanza. There's another thing that I would like to share with you is Ahmed ibn al-Hussein or Abu Tayyib al-Mutanabbi. It's well known. يقول بشعب بوان الحصان يقول بشعب بوان حصان عن هذا يسار إلى الطعان أبوكم آدم سن المعاصي وعلمكم مفارقة الجنان. These are two things. So we talk about horses, two different poems. Okay, so let's see what else. This verse from a chapter, Naml, okay, from Holy Quran. أعوذ بالله السميع من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وحشر لسليمان جنوده من الجن والإنس والطير فهم يوزعون حتى إذا أتوا على واد النمل قالت نملة يا أيها النمل ادخلوا مساكنكم لا يحطمنكم سليمان وجنوده وهم لا يشعرون فتبسم ضاحكا من قولها وقال رب أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي وأن أعمل صالحا ترضاه وأدخلني برحمتك في عبادك الصالحين وتفقد الطير وتفقد الطير فقال ما لي لا أرى الهدهد أم كان من الغائبين. So we started with two horses and then birds and then hoop, right? Hudhud. So let us move on to what we are talking about exactly. So this is our title. And if you go back to the post that I posted on Facebook and my social media, animal and human language, right? And there are 4 questions over there. The study of language, by whom? By George Yule, 4th edition, 2010, 2010 or 2010. And now it's 2024. So it has more than, I think, roughly 14 years ago. This is the 4th edition, as you can see. This one of the questions, and thank you for those who are following me on social media. They just asked me that, or they told me that the title or one of the questions, I guess the first question was just an eye-catching question. Okay, so is just like a third provoking question. Okay, so they began to think about that. So this is a question: why does a meeting between a dog and a cat usually end up in a fight? The answer is miscommunication. But how? Do you know? Okay, if you don't, let's see. Let's dive into it. Uh, this is, I think, it's a very cute cut. And this is awful, vicious dog, right? You can read this. Yeah, instead of reading this paragraph again, just the idea behind this, they figure out that something is warning them, okay, by yelling out, hey, hey, okay, get out there. So let's see, what is that? Again, the voice boomed, hey, hey, you. As we tracked the voice, we found ourselves approaching a large glass fence pool in front of the aquarium where four harbor seals. So we talk about two horses in the very beginning in Arabic. And then we talk about from the Holy Quran verse, chapter Naml. We talk about an ant, Naml, and then Hudhud, two. So they are four. And there's another thing which is seal, okay? Or seals were lounging on display, incredulous. I trace the source of the command to a large seal reclining vertically in the water, sitting back. Okay, this is back. Just the way I do when you recline. Okay, lean in or lean back. With his head extended back up, back and up. He is a seal. His mouth slightly open, rotating slowly as a seal was talking, not to me, but to the air, and instantly to anyone with earshot, he can hear from somewhere. It's not meant to somebody, but who cared to listen? This by Dickens, okay, 1997. There are a lot of stories about creatures that can talk. If you read, uh, I think Treasure Island by Louis Stevenson, you can find that the parrot talks, right? If I'm not mistaken, is it or Treasure Island or Tom Sawyer is Tom Huckleberry Finn. I think one of this novel, I can't recall it exactly. We usually assume that they are fantasy or fiction, or that they involve birds or animals simply imitating something they have heard humans say. And this is exactly a typical example for a parrot, right? As Dickens discovered was the case with the last seal in Boston Aquarium. Yet, we know that creatures are capable of communicating, so it's a matter of communication, right? And certainly with other members of their own species. This is the second question that I posed. Is it possible that a creature could learn to communicate with humans using language? Or Does human language have properties that make it so unique, so specific, that is quite unlike any other communication system, and hence unlearnable by any other creature or creature? To answer these questions, we will first consider some special properties of human language, then review a number of experiments in communication involving humans and animals or animals. Communicative and informative signals. I think this is where we stopped last time. So just resuming what I have started, okay, or what I already started, okay. Uh, we should first distinguish between specifically communicative or communicative signals, communicative, and those which may be unintentionally. So the first one might be intentional, and the second one might gonna be unintentional or informative signals. Someone listening to you may become informed about you through a number of signals that you haven't or you have not intentionally sent. You didn't send them before, okay? But they can tell. She may not that you have a cold. How do you know that? How did she know that? Because you sneezed. And that you aren't at ease, no longer at ease, right? I think you know achieve it. You shift it around in your own seat, so you can say that you are disorganized. She can tell, you can tell, he can tell. Non-matching socks. If you are wearing non-matching, you are not well organized, maybe. And that you are from some other part of the country, you have a strange accent. I have friends, some of mine or friends of mine live in France. They told me that if you live in Paris or Paris, the Parisians have their own accent and they use their own way of speaking, like you shui, right? So they can tell if you went from Paris to another part of the France, like Lyon or Marseille or Strasbourg or Rochelle, whatsoever. This is just an example to show you that uh, you are from this area. Even I have some friends from the UK, mainly London. Okay, the Londoners, beside talking Cockney, I mean this variation, they have their own way of speaking. Okay, those who are from North London, totally different from the south, and these from the east, totally different from the west, and so on. And this is not; these are just examples because it could be found anywhere. Okay. However, when you use language to tell this person that I'd like to apply for the vacant position of senior or senior brain surgeon at the hospital, you are normally considered to be intentionally communicating something. You're applying for this. You need to be hired. That's your vacancy. Similarly, the blackbird is not normally taken to be communicating anything by having black feathers or sitting on a branch and looking down at the ground like this one. And I think this is hoopoo, right? Hoopoo. Okay, we call it, I think is hudhud or rock, if I'm not mistaken. What is considered to be sending a communicative signal with loud squawking produced when a cat appears on the scene. Maybe it could be. So when we talk about distinctions between human language and animal communication, so we need to draw close attention to this, human language and animal communication. We are considering both in terms of their potential as means of intentional communication. Intentional, you are intending to send this message, okay? Let's dive into the properties of human language, okay? Let's dig down deep and talk about them. While we tend to think of communication as a primary function of human language, it's not a distinguishing feature. It's not at all. All cultures communicate in some way. Yes, they do. They have their own way of communication, right? However, we suspect that other cultures are not reflecting on the way they create their communicative messages or viewing how they work or not. That is, one barking dog is probably not offering advice to another barking dog along the lines of, hey, you should lower your bark to make it sound more menacing. Like this one. They are not barking about barking. Humans are clearly able to reflect on language and its uses. This is what distinguishes us. This is what makes our language so specific or so unique. Look at this, teacher and students. I wish he wouldn't use so many technical terms. This is called reflexivity. Reflexivity, the property of the reflexivity or reflexiveness accounts for the fact that we can use language to think and talk about language itself, making it one of the distinguishing features of human language. Yeah, and this is one of the major distinction between Chomsky and Ferdinand de Saussure when he proposed that teach the language and not about the language. But on the contrary, Ferdinand de Saussure sees the language as a social phenomenon, right? Or he sees it from the angle of sociolinguistic perspective, right? Indeed, without this general ability, we wouldn't be able to reflect on or identify any of the other distinct properties of human language. We will look in detail at another 5 of them. So we have reflexivity, displacement, arbitrariness, productivity, cultural transmission, and duality. And I think for the time being, we'll be talking about 3. We talk about reflexivity, then we have displacement and arbitrariness. We'll be shedding lights into these 2, okay? The latter will be in the coming session, inshallah, will be shown or presented in the next webinar. First one is displacement. When your cat comes home and stands at your feet calling meow, you are likely to understand this message as relating to that immediate time and place. Time and place, in literature we call it setting, all right? So if you ask your cat what has been and what it was up to, you'll probably get the same meow, answer, the same response, right? Animal communication seems to be designed exclusively for this moment, here and now. Here and now. It cannot effectively be used to reflect events that are far removed or remote, both removed or remote in time and place. When your dog says girl, okay, it means same thing, right? So right now, because dogs do not seem to be capable of communicating girl, okay, or girl, we say that. Last night, over the park, in contrast, human language users are normally capable of producing messages equivalent to girl, okay, last night over in the park. And then going on to say, in fact, I'll be going back tomorrow for some more. So, which is wonderful, right? Human can refer to past and future time. This property of human language is called displacement. And here, when talking about future, we need to recall Sibuehi and Abdul Qahir al and so on, okay? But this will be later, inshallah, we can talk about this in detail. But human beings are capable of doing so. It allows language users to talk about things and events not present in the immediate environment. Indeed, displacement allows us to talk about things and places like Paris, okay, Goblin, and William Shakespeare, okay, or Santa Claus, Superman, etc., whose existence we cannot even be sure of. Okay, we don't. We are not so sure. Animal communication is generally considered to lack this property. That's why human language is so unique, or this one of the contributing factors. It has been proposed that B, so we talk about maybe so far four, right? Two horses or horse, let me see. Two horses or a horse. And then we talk about birds in general, but mainly we talk about two of them. We talk about ant, we talk about hudhud or hopu. Then we talk about bee, or we talk about seal. Then now we are talking about V, number 5 or 6. It has been proposed that bee communication may have the property of displacement. Let's see. بعد الاستعادة. وأوحى ربك إلى النحل أن اتخذي من الجبال بيوتا ومن الشجر ومما يعرشون ثم كلي من كل الثمرات فاسلكي سبل ربك ذللا يخرج من بطونها شراب مختلف ألوانه فيه شفاء للناس إن في ذلك لآية لقوم يتفكرون. From Nahl chapter. So, for example, when a worker bee finds a source of nectar and returns to the beehive, okay, where bees are, okay, it can perform a complex dance. So this wonderful, this is another thing that a bee can dance, but does it dance tango or false or waltz or whatsoever? What kind of dance? I don't know. Okay, if you don't know, let me know. Return to communicate to the other bees the location of this nectar. Depending on the type of dance, round dance for nearby and tail wagging dance. So now we know two. If you know others, yes, please do let me know. With variable tempo for further or farther, okay, farther away and how far. The other bees can work out where this newly discovered feast can be found. Doesn't this ability of the bee to indicate a location some distance away mean that the communication has at least some degree of displacement as a feature? We not need to think that way. This crucial consideration involved, of course, is that of degree, just as a matter of degree. Okay. Big communication has displacement in extremely limited form or finite form because our language is phrase stimulus. So it's certainly different from other kind of species. And this is what make it human language so specific. Certainly, the bee can direct other bees to a food source. However, it must be the most recent food of source or food source. It cannot be, can be, or cannot be that delicious rose bush on the other side of the town that we visited last weekend, nor can it be as far as we know possible future nectar in bee heaven, really. So number two is called arbitrariness. And I think this idea coined by Ferdinand de Saussure when he suggested the idea of semiotic, the signifier and the signified, right? So it's generally the case that there's no natural connection between linguistic form and its meaning. So we say desk, we say table, طاولة, منضدة, we say ditch in German, but for the same object, right? The same object. So the connection is quite arbitrary. We can't just look at the Arabic word kalb and from its shape, for example, determine that it has a natural and obvious meaning any more than we can with its English equivalent, okay? Translation form, she's dog, D-O-G, as a noun, not as a verb, because dog can be a verb, a noun as a verb. Hey, stop dogging me, all right? Just look at it. The linguistic form has no natural or iconic relationship with that hairy four-legged barking object out in the world. Okay, that has four objects. This refers back to George Orwell. Okay, so these are good, right? This aspect of the relationship between linguistic science and objects in the world is described as arbitrariness. And let me just give you something that I found very interesting to share with you. Is a rose by any name would smell as sweet, right? So there's nothing. This one thing from William Shakespeare. The other thing in Hamlet, I think, okay? Another thing, just I would like to see, let me just share it with you. I would like to read it. No matter how eloquently a dog may bark, okay, he cannot tell you that his parents were poor but honest. This Bernard Russell, okay? This is what I would like to share with you. And I think there's nothing, just this that I would like to share is a quote that I would like just to share with you. Of course, you can play a game with words to make them appear to fit the idea. to a purpose, right? Or activity that they indicate as shown in the words below from a child's game. However, this type of game only emphasizes the arbitrariness of the connection that normally exists between a word and its meaning. Look at this. I think I found so fascinating. Ball, fall, small, tall, wall. Right. There are some words in language with sounds that seem to echo another tool of purpose or co-infinitive, right? The echo here. The sounds of objects or activities and hence seem to have less arbitrary connection. But do we have a lot of that? I don't think this normal, quite normal a lot. English exams are cuckoo and cuckoo. This is the same sound that produced by the bird itself, right? So it's cuckoo is kind of bird. And crash, rush, or car crash, right? Slur. If you are sipping coffee or tea noisily, right? Squelch and what? However, those onomatopoeic, sorry for this long word, okay, onomatopoeic word or from onomatopoeia, right? The words that have the same sounds, right? Words that are relatively rare in human language. These are very rare, okay? Um, For the majority of human signals, there does appear to be a clear connection between the conveyed message and the signal used to convey it. This impression we have of the non-arbitrariness of animal signaling may be closely connected to the fact that for any animal, the set of signals used in communication is finite, right? It's very limited. That is, each variety of animal communication consists of a fixed and limited set of vocal or gestural forms. And that's so true, by the way. So if you look at our language as human being is stimulus free, right? So you can, as Chomsky mentioned in his, I think, early books in 1958, syntactic structure, from limited rules, you can produce infinite number of sentences, right? Many of these forms are only used in specific situation, such as establishing territory, particular items, like during the mating season, okay, the mating for animals actually. I think for the time being, we are coming to the end of this presentation. This is me, A. Hanno, or Leo, as you can see here. L stands for learn, or E for English, and O for online. This is Leo, okay. Here, this is from Gamecraft, is an AI generated, okay, that to match the topic that we're talking about. From my heart, yes, I'm sending this, saying thank you. Thank you for watching this video. If you find interesting, useful, just please do share it with others, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel on YouTube and share it, because as we do know that sharing is caring. If you found useful, I hope you do. Okay. By the way, there's a game we used to play yesterday. Okay, it's a Kahoot game, 11-12 topic, but unfortunately we can't do it right now, right here, because we don't have any players to come or to join in. So thank you very much indeed. That's all for Now, yeah, that's all what I have. So, the I would like to stop my uh, screen sharing. Okay, thank you again. I'm so thankful, so delighted that you are here. This is a full version of this session or this webinar, and the best is yet to come. So we will not be here. Will not stop here. I'm not gonna say that we are not gonna be. We are going to be unstoppable, but at least for the time being, we would like to stop here. And inshallah, the next session is gonna be on Tuesday. So just get ready for Tuesday. Stay tuned. And again and again and again and over again, if you find it very useful, um, please do share it with others. Okay. Thank you very much indeed. I'm so delighted that you are here. See you next time and we can play the game together. Okay. Actually, here's a game. So if I share the game or reshare my screen, you can see that. Yes, let me show you where it is. It's here, by the way. Yeah, this is a game. There are 5 questions, but we cannot do it because we don't have any place to join me. So sorry, but next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.